There was a man named Job. He wasn't a king, he wasn't a famous prophet, and he didn't live in palaces. But he was known for something rare: integrity. Job lived in the land of Uz, a prosperous place, surrounded by open fields, countless herds, and quiet nights. He had everything most people dream of: wealth, respect, and a large family. 7 sons, 3 daughters, laughter around the table, long conversations as the sun went down. That feeling that life had finally fallen into place. But what truly defined Job wasn't what he owned. It was what he believed. Job feared God, not out of terror, but out of reverence. He even worried about the thoughts of his children. He prayed quietly, not out of duty, but out of love. To him, God wasn't distant. God was present. The problem is, stories like this don't last forever. Everything felt too stable, too calm, like a clear sky that gives no warning before the storm. Job didn't know it yet, but something was about to change, not because of a mistake, not because of a hidden failure, but because of something he never imagined he would face. In a single day, the news began to arrive, one after another, always running, always out of breath, always with the same look on their faces. Something was wrong. The man who had never known lack began to feel the ground shake beneath him. The man who always had answers now faced too many questions, and not enough explanations. But the strangest part wasn't the loss, it was the silence. Job prayed and felt nothing. He spoke, and the sky did not respond. No explanation, no warning, no why. It was as if God, who had always been there, had gone quiet. And when God is silent, the mind grows louder, fear takes root, and faith is tested at a level few can endure. Job didn't know it yet, but this would not be just a story about pain. It would be a story about what happens when everything is taken away, and the only thing left is silence. The news wouldn't stop coming. Each messenger looked paler than the last. Your oxen have been taken. Your servants were killed. Fire fell from the sky. Job only listened. No screaming, no tears, just trying to understand how everything could disappear so fast. By the end of the day, one last man approached. His voice was shaking. The words felt too heavy to say. Your children were gathered together, and the house collapsed. Job's world came to a halt. He dropped to his knees. Silence filled the place. No cries, no curses, just a man struggling to breathe as everything he loved ceased to exist. That night, his wife came to him. Her eyes held no comfort, only anger. How long are you going to keep trusting this God? She asked, her voice thick with pain and rage. Look at what happened to our family. Job didn't answer right away. He looked up at the sky, as if waiting for a response that never came. We accept the good. Should we not accept the bad? He whispered. She turned away, shaking her head, as if she no longer recognized the man beside her. In the days that followed, Job's body began to fail. Sores covered his skin. The pain was constant. Sleep was nowhere to be found. 3 friends came to visit him. They sat around him in silence. Their eyes said it all: suspicion, fear, judgment. You must have done something, one of them finally said. God wouldn't do this without a reason. Those words hurt more than the wounds on his body. Job began to doubt himself, his faith, his own story. And in the middle of the night, when no one was watching, he whispered, God, where are you? But the sky remained closed. No voice, no signs, no answers. And the more he searched, the louder the silence seemed to scream. And then, when Job was no longer expecting anything, when his words had run out and so had his strength. Something happened. It wasn't an angel. It wasn't a dream. It wasn't a gentle whisper. It was a voice. From the middle of a storm, God spoke, but not the way Job expected. There were no explanations, no apologies, only questions. Where were you when I laid the foundations of the earth? Do you know the boundaries of the sea? Can you command the morning to appear? Job realized he had spent all this time demanding answers, when what he needed first was to recognize who was truly in control. He came to his senses, covered his face, and with a broken voice he said, "Before, I knew you only by hearing about you, but now my eyes see you." Then God turned to the friends, the ones who accused, who judged, who turned pain into guilt. They were wrong. God rebuked them and declared that Job, the wounded, broken, silent man, was the one who had spoken rightly. But the greatest turning point was still ahead. When Job prayed for those who had hurt him, when he chose intercession instead of resentment, his story began to change. His health was restored. Life returned. He had sons and daughters again, and everything that had been taken from him was given back twice over. But Job was never the same, because he learned something few ever do, that God does not abandon us in silence, that the absence of answers is not the absence of care, and that some pain doesn't come to destroy, but to reveal depths that joy could never reach. And maybe, if you're living through a season of silence right now, this story isn't just about Job. Maybe it's about you.